where did you want to talk
So
about
let's just
synchronicity? Is that the one you wanted to start with?
Well, I mean, so here I am back with my friend Bob Berry, author of Cab Stories. Aloha, everybody. And we're going to talk more specifically about Cab Stories today. And the subtitle is Reflections of... What's the whole subtitle again, Bob?
A Cab Driver's Reflections.
With an X.
Reflexions. Reflections.
You might have to speak up a little bit. I'm not sure how that...
I don't know either. I'm soft-spoken and
There you go.
It's the ethos of Teddy Roosevelt and all his predecessors who understood this before. Kyle brings a lot of this out, that we're standing on the shoulders of giants, and almost all of this started thousands of years before. But you should walk softly and carry a big stick.
Yes.
And that's what I try to do, putting the calmness, quietness, softness, so that we don't have to use the stick.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of subjects here.
Well, I love how you the book is structured in terms of lucky characters and unlucky characters.
Our minds are right together. I was just going for that chapter. Anything you talk about synchronicity, luck, chance would have to do Lady Luck.
Yes, Lady Luck.
Let me check with Lady Luck.
Luck be a lady tonight. It's interesting that Luck's female, right? Like wisdom.
I'll read part of that. I encourage everyone out here to get a copy of this book.
Yes,
it's on Kindle. You don't have to spend a fortune. I think it's on Kindle for $3 or something. If you want the hardcovers, we're setting up a way that you'll be able to order hardcovers from me, and I'll sign the ones as long as I can, the ones I saw. There's also a soft cover for $15 that's on Amazon under Cab Driver's Reflections. Lady Luck. Now, I don't know if I should read the whole...
It's number 18. Today's date, by the way, Bob, 10/8/108 is 9, 1 plus 8, and 2018, 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 8 is 11, so it's 9 on the day and the month, and 11 on the year. And it's a Monday, and it's a new moon.
Let's stay with synchronicity. I think that's what you just talked about. I'm not sure, but that rings as synchronicity, which is what I tried to explain unknowingly in Lady Luck. Some guys can be incredibly lucky. Maybe it's nature's way of balancing out for guys and girls who are incredibly unlucky. But it's amazing how right things can go of their own accord sometimes, and equally amazing how there are times when everything just goes wrong. That particularly interests me, and that's what I think, if there's anything you can learn from me, is look, keep aware, and look for things, or try to sense when things are going wrong. Because when things are going right, you'll probably do okay. I'm sorry about this humor. This is a creative process. And creative processes with me involve a lot of humor. This is a deadly subject, but I have to laugh.
Yes.
Because there's a humor in the way that we're creating around it. So I'm not laughing at deadly situations necessarily, although I do. I've seen cab drivers literally laughing over the coffin of a dead cab driver. Please don't be offended by the humor. It's meant to further a creative process.
I'm glad you said that, because I frequently am silly in my videos when I'm talking about very serious stuff, and I'm not, trying to trivialize what I'm talking about. It's laughter is the best medicine, right?
Not always. If you want to get the book, it's in Take the Bridge. I do a whole section on laughing. I was in this room where there was death. This man I knew had jumped off the bridge, and more than miraculously, we can talk about synchronicity later, he survived this, and I went in and crashed the place 2 or 3 days.
How far had he jumped from?
Well, at least between 180 and 200 feet. it's killed everybody else, but it didn't. Everyone except one woman. We'll get into that later. But the synchronicity of it was, I was in this room. I walked in there, and they have him handcuffed to the bed, and I stood there, and we just looked at each other for 10 or 15 minutes. We're just hanging around, and finally I said, "They're not taking any chances with you." I said, "You'll go out there." That effing window over there, and we started laughing. And there gave me the concentration on what the value of laughter is, but it has to be done right. It has to be the right laughter, and it has to be done in the right quantities, and we have to be careful with it. So here again, please don't be offended. This is, first of all, I'm having a good time. I enjoy a creative process, and any exploratory, keep looking till we're exploring. Thanks to guys like Kyle and people who bought the book, I'm exploring myself into parts of myself that I have never seen. Even though I'm almost completely analyzed, and it's an exciting thing. All right, we call it luck, and we liken it to the human female, and there is certainly enough in it to hold the attention of a rational man. That's an understatement. Webster has luck as that which happens to one seemingly by chance. I have it as any and all the circumstances that accompany you at any time. Whatever I am doing is surrounded and affected by other doings and happenings. Sometimes the good stuff is there, and sometimes it isn't. Sometimes all the wrong stuff is there. You're back to the awareness. That's what the book is about. Reality, and this is how I intended it. It's about a lot of other things that I didn't intend consciously. Anyhow, the book is about awareness and reality, and let's look at reality. Let's just look at what is first. Metaphysics. Forget about all this stuff for now. The sociology, the psychology, the politics, the mysticism, which I guess is heavy in the book. Just look at what is and be aware.
So here's a word, Bob, that goes into what you're talking about: empiricism, which is which is direct knowing in science, empirical knowing, direct knowing, as opposed to theoretical knowing. This is what you're talking about. This is empiricism.
Thank you. That's exactly what I meant. The human female gets into the picture through the concept of perfidy, and through her ability, at least in my experience, to coldly detach. We would never say gentleman luck, and no man has ever terminated a relationship as coldly or completely as some of the women in my life have. I'm not knocking women. They're the power. That's the seat of, I would be a disaster. It's women the whole way through, the better ones. I'm not sure.
The more powerful.
I'm not sure there's anything like a bad woman. I guess that's how enamored I am of them and how respectful, because my experiences with women. I have other papers that get into that. Anyhow, certainly the concepts of chance and providence and even spirituality get into it. I think of chance along with the odds that any specific circumstance will occur with another circumstance at any one time. And although I am not a religious man, I could swear at times that there was a spirit looking out for me, providing for me at times when I was in trouble. I could expand a little bit, just briefly, on this. That apparently I developed this quality, and it may be a fantasy, it may be genetics, it may be an ether that we live in, but I don't feel alone. I feel that there is this accompaniment. An ether. Let's just, for the abstract of it.
That means quintessence, by the way. That's the fifth essence in esoteric or occult science. The ether is the top of the five-pointed star, and it's above the four states of matter: earth, air, fire, water, or solid, liquid, gas, plasma. It's the causal light, or the source of all of the density of the four elements below. That's what the word ether actually.
I mean it in the sense that there's an entity.
Yes.
That surrounds me, and I'm in it all the time. The Zen has some of this. You're in a flow. Zen sees us as in a flow, where you notice this in life, and this makes it so humorous. Is that that we're in a flow. There are currents against us. So you may see your goal might be over there. I don't particularly believe in goals, but you're heading for one place, right? And then you're the lights went on.
Well, hold on. We'll do part 2 in a second.